not quite there. Oh, we're nearly there. Yes, we're ready to rock and roll. First gig of the year for the Perth Poetry Club. My name's Elio Novello. I'll be your MC for the first half. We're live streaming as well, so for performers, if you don't want yourself to be seen by everybody in the world, then please tell us beforehand and we can do something about that, okay? So I was in a bit of a quandary as to what poem to use for the first one for the year, and I'm still in a quandary, and it's too bad. And it's one by Ogden Nash. The people upstairs. The people upstairs all practice ballet. Their living room is a bowling alley. Their bedroom is full of conducted tours. Their radio is louder than yours. They celebrate weekends all the week. When they take a shower, your ceiling leaks. They try to get their parties to mix by supplying their guests with pogo sticks. And when their orgy at last abates, they go to the bathroom on roller skates. I might love the people upstairs, wondrous, if instead of above us, they live just under us. Anyway, that's a pretty crappy poem, but anyway, but it's interesting. That's the people upstairs from a northern hemisphere perspective, and this is one from a southern one. The people upstairs. The people upstairs. Oh, it's by Irene Duff. The people upstairs, they make such a noise you would think they were bears. The way that they gnaw the timber they swallow, it's no wonder that so many gum trees are hollow. When trees drip with silver and thorn scrub lies dim, when the magpie is singing the earliest hymn, at dawn with the thunder of beasts on the hoof, they gallop for fun on the galvanised roof. We complain but can send them no bills for repair, and we cannot get rid of the possums upstairs. Okay, let's go to open mic, and somebody that you'll hear a lot this year because he's got a lot to say, but also his poetry is pretty good too. Make welcome Gary to Piazzi.
Thank you, Elio. Just get it organised here. If you haven't heard about it, now you will. Poetry the More, 14th of February at the Perth Zoological Gardens, actually in the Japanese garden. We've got a whole swag of guest poets, including Candy Royale from Sydney, Anna Marie Weldon, Jackson, Kevin Gillam, Tina Van Eakin, Danny Gunsberg, Vivian Grants, Glenn Phillips, Dennis Haskell, Gail Williams, and more. Scott Patrick's in there somewhere as well. There's two events this year. There's actually the one lunchtime event in Mandurah and the evening event in Perth. There's flyers on the desk. Take one. I've got a heap of flyers in my box. I'd really appreciate if people will grab some and spread them around their local neighbourhood. The other thing is the Poetry the More anthology. It's a collection of love poems, some of the best poets in WA, and there's a couple of smattering ones from over east as well. That's only $20. I don't want to take up all your time, but see me afterwards. Oh, and I also have tickets if you want to purchase some tickets. They're only $30 per person for members, $35 if you're not. And this year we've got VIP tickets for $80. That gives you champagne, wine and food with the poets beforehand. Don't smirk, Jackson, you're going to be there entertaining the VIP guests. Okay, today's poem, of course you will, you love it. Entice. Get in the mood. Treasure unplundered, undiscovered, the longest time held in the shortest breath, eternity excited in the curl of a hand. A slip of the fingers as they seek dreams, smooth flowing streams beyond reach, beyond touch, caressing intoxication. Sensuous words taunt stroke the tip of her tongue, trickle and explode ecstatic light. I melt, wrecked beyond surrender in a whisper. Don't worry, it only seems kinky the first time. As her smile creases the dusk light, flickering candle glimmer, her eyes jewels to tease. Poetry d'amour, be there.
Okay, Gary, thank you very much for that. And please make welcome next to the mic, Jackson.
Right, continuing with our theme of Italian men. A Room in Taiwan 2010. This is by Matthew Gregory, some English poet. And how many desert miles of the web has she crossed tonight searching for the home address of Mastroianni? Mastroianni is no longer among us. She does not know this, so continues her drift from one ruined domain to the next one, signing herself into empty guest books as she goes. I would like to write to Mr. Marcello Mastroianni, please, if anyone know where he is. I dream us in light of stars and great city Rome. I want to be like Kiss of Anita Ekberg. Mastroianni, whose 1,000 pictures in these forums lose him on pages like palimpsests of man on top of man, where this girl at her tropical desk, who lists for his deep romantic heart, touches a hit counter once in the dark. So that was by Matthew Gregory. And now one I prepared earlier. This does not yet have a title. Society puts such expectations on poets. The older poet is to hide her tender neck with a colourful scarf. If you're not careful, as you get older and your neck becomes more scrawny, the colourful scarf will come over you, covering the slogan on your t-shirt. I don't like to wear a scarf. It might turn into a noose. I don't even like polo necks. I'd rather risk getting a love bite from a vampire, a black-clad Dylan Thomas quoting madman, than being suffocated by my own wardrobe, however pretty and vintage it may be. I'd rather be catching my death waiting for my muse in the cold midnight street than teetering between the well-lit galleries and going home at tea time all muffled up.
Thank you, Jackson. Obviously, our next reader's not wearing a polo t-shirt or neck shirt. Sorry, stuck that one up. But his surname's Jackson, Ross Jackson. He's a first timer, so please make him most welcome.
Good afternoon. I've been married for 25 years, so I don't do love or sex, I'm sorry. But this one's called Working Marriage. And it's a local poem for local people, so I hope you're local. Working Marriage. Opposite Runner's World, we rejoin, identical backpacks headed north. We're grooving our gates on the number 19 bus route, careering home. At the end of our commute, there will be clothes to iron, wood to chop, everything but work. At the tennis complex, corellas are white camellias, snowy in the pines. Step over a pizza box upturned, cheese and scarlet slime the pavement's surface. Pepsi rocks Taj Mahal, a cultural shriek on a hotel wall. Somebody jointly familiar since our marriage exits the Italian doctors, only preoccupied, disengaged glances advanced. The jumbo chip bucket atop the chicken shop rotates aloft its same old commercial franchise stripes. In step we take the corner. An intimated, yet unspoken, cup of tea, a sweet routine settling us down Walcott Street. And then my second and final poem, it's a lightweight poem called Splinters. Not enough skin to go round, so rather than commit bulkicide, we skinny men get leaner. Being bare carries risk, for what's assumed desirable in the female form does not count for us. Casting too small a shadow, we're often overlooked. Puny is not a heroic term. Wiry is the best label we can hope for, and though not self-aware, I just know in my tiny gut there's no huskier me posing on the inside. Forget bench pressing chocolate bars. For the intractably lean, it doesn't work. I've already tried. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ross. Pretty good for a first time reading, I reckon. Which brings us to the first feature for the year. To some, Arran Lodge is a wayward rapscallion with natural clown hair, able to induce humorous vertigo. Writing brings on many things for him: surreal comic dreamscapes, eclectic travel anecdotes, musings on the natural world, soul-searching reflections, and cataclysmic deconstructions of popular culture. Goodness me. He's looking forward to sharing his words with us today. Please make welcome Arran Lodge.
Thank you. Now, been having a strange little patch. I've been nursing some bizarre ear infection, this kind of curious tinnitus thing that makes me occasionally get the impression I'm listening to kittens singing down the drain pipe, and broken sleep, and I kind of wasn't really with it, but I have some stuff for you, and I'm here, and there's a task to perform. So I was down on the south coast for a while, had a few days out of the rat race. I rode a little bit down there, and the most curious thing was in that beautiful isolated landscape and miles of open beaches. I came up with something that had absolutely nothing to do with it, but this piece I really enjoyed a lot when I was creating it. I'll bring this to you. It's called Jimmy and Jamie's Last Jazzy Jive. Whoops, you're keeping on the time. You've cranked up the blues because you're feeling sore, but put aside your whiskey, you cheap urban whore. The aliens are coming to save us all. The time is now. It's the boarding call. On 98.985, the station with skank and jump and jive. They know what the time is and who's still alive. The message is real from my real man Clive. He don't deal in crap or pop punk that's sly. He just cranks the good stuff for you and for I. They're coming to get us, he said it tonight. So say your goodbyes, 'cause now it's alright. Those tears you've been saving can spill one last time. From space, the true cowboys are coming tonight. So rustle your hairdo and print those nice thighs. Sweetie, just meet me out under the sky. I'll bring my guitar for one last goodbye. It's holy, divine, a galactic surprise. The ship will be down to pick up and fly. We'll soon see our true home, the stars in our eyes. I think that came out of reading about Jimi Hendrix's life and the psychedelia, but no, it's not. Okay. So far away, seeing your pale thin trees, crooked and curved, waxy blue-green leaves, gently stretched out, your white-grey rocks, flaking layers to the sky. The barren of the east, above sweeping blue-green curves, fringed with white, speckled with foam and dark weed. Now I am here again. We can find ourselves quite easily sometimes, you know. We don't need to look. The beauty of this ocean, these rarest floral species, here we sit in nature's garden, understated and quite peaceful. Plants might talk, surprise you, special, extraterrestrial, polyclusters laced with flames of red and green, dark orange rays, spindly and towering high, winding into deep blue sky. Orchids sitting, hiding pretty, brooding rocks perched in subtlety, grey with lichen-textured faces, watching over countless ages. And I had a little companion in the tent one night, very small and delicate, you could say, almost. She's my mascot. So these are very special insects, I quite like them. Sweet lady, wings of argon, I have come to let you out, or you might be dead by morning. Beautiful you are, seduced by night's bright lights. You have simply come to share my campsite for the night. I know it looks like fun, but in my sleep I might just crush you, to join that big goanna disemboweled upon the road. I know not by whom, sadly slain and laid to waste. In barley dragonflies are roasted for the tasting, but you're an angel spirit, embodiment of purity and innocence of heart. This is like kind of in progress, bits and pieces, but it's what's been coming out lately. Turn around in spasms like an 80s rock phantasm, belittled or bedeviled, making Goldilocks dishevelled. In homage to creative madness, gold leaf covers deeper sadness. We all have a sensual underside, sometimes we run away and hide. This romance dance for fancy pants induces deeper types of trance. Erotic narcoleptic shuffles, strong like finer chocolate truffles, to trigger psychic waterfalls, wolf-like cries off icy walls, touched in sensual wonderlands by delicate caressing hands. Thermal shudders, seismic thrusts, aphrodisiac wanderlust. Music always speaks to me and words slip away ceaselessly, lingering on certain notes, harmonies that seize my throat, drifting from the daily grind on lullabies that feel sublime, bending fabric, space and time, in REM I'm dozing blind. Waking now from fitful slumber, reality's absurd. I'm scrabbling for a piece of me that's not contained in words. Soporific, undefined, a blockade in my dreamer's mind. I'm assassin to your inhibitions, titillate for your submission, wrecking ball to your mind, undress your sensibilities and let your soul unwind. You come through like an army with comments that disarm me, triggered just to charm me. Your gorgeous warmth so balmy. Shall we have a party and spill some fucking wine? Forgetting what seduction is, we're running out of time. You wreck the bed, I'll lick your head, then hit the wall and fall down dead. This make-believe, it's oh so sweet. Just chase me naked through the street. The time is right to take a chance. No romance dance for fancy pants. And I was quite honestly so all over the place today. It was hard to know what I really needed, how much, whatever, but we'll just keep it going, and yeah, time looks good. This is an old piece, but I quite like it and it feels right for the moment. It's called Sky Dream. That craving, being in airports, flying in planes, being part of the rippling masses of people coming and going. The aftertaste still lingers, my appetite stirs. Memories incomplete, unfinished, a strange menu. Departures, arrivals, check-in, identification, passport, tickets, security, scanning, the rumbling of jet engines in the background deep inside the terminals, ticket counters illuminated in a colourful mosaic of glowing airline logos, caravans of passengers with baggage trailing behind, security guards, guns in holsters marching in threes, luggage trolley buggies with flashing orange lights circling around the planes below, waiting, boarding, then strap in, rev up, screaming engines taking to the sky. Up above the clouds, you have the opportunity to dream, to reflect, to delve deeper inside, or to just sit back in the fantasy of it all. Men and women in strange costumes offer you curiously presented edibles. There are games with pencils and mysterious paper bags with which you can fill with whatever you choose. Fitful slumber, time in limbo, cruising in the darkness, slowly dropping away. Cities below brooding and pulsating, twinkling lights layering the darkness. You descend into the network, night game boards laid out with colourful beacons. Coming into land, anticipation thick in the air, the moments just before touching down. Disembark, clustered queues preparing to leave the womb of the silver beast, urgency fueled by impatience. We exchange simple words for grounding. Thank you for flying with our carrier. Have a pleasant day, night, holiday, business deal, social engagement, family reunion, emotional breather, whirlwind affair, revelation, nervous breakdown. Acquaint yourself with a new place. Seek out the familiar features in an unfamiliar landscape. The fascination or the alienation rising inside you as you step into a new climate, a new geography, a new concept. And I think I might finish with this. I may have done this recently, some may have heard it, some may not, but this seems to feel good for today. It's called Life, the Surreality, a Russian Epic Tragedy. Now, life is surreality, a Russian epic tragedy. No Dostoevsky or Stravinsky or cosmonauts landing in the sea. Just Yuri Gagarin's plane in pieces for all to see. So Putin's sleazy slime slithers into the spittoon, and the workers feel no glory like a hero on the moon. Old People's Party posters push their virtuous values, but nothing's quite so wholesome as a despot with no clue. A despot with no clue, yes. Serenas play their tennis, other ladies ply their trade, oligarchs they sniff their oil as the sunlight fades to grey. Well aware the wheel of karma now amounts for next to naught, a dreaded piece of theatre playing out on state TV. The gruesome real truth, all illusions, don't you see? Odious, melodious, the anthems explode over us, parading in a stupid fuss, the army's march is cancerous. I wouldn't mind a holiday in some fine state in disarray. The exchange rate really made my day. I don't know what to fucking say. The waiter should just go away. There's no fine wine. But what the hey, I've lost my guide to my dismay. I'll have to find some other way to find the train and hit the hay. Or would you like to come and play? It all was clearer yesterday. The vodka has just turned to grey. And this is a little piece. It just goes, babbling none the wiser, you highfalutin fools, in your hip-hop retro street speak with its razor-cutting cool.
A bit more applause there for Arran Lodge. Thank you very much, Arran. That was a great start to the new year for us. And to continue it, we've got our webcaster on next.
Oh.
Yep, whoop, whoop, whoop. Jamie MacQueen.
Good afternoon. Now, these are from Janet's Poetry Cafe, and from Jackson's, the person formerly known as the artist, known as the symbol, known as Janet, who is now known as Jackson. Cafe Poetry Workshops, did one this morning. I had to go home and change my pants, it was so good. So, came up with a few bits, I'm going to share them with you. 16 lines, and then we had to take things out. Every sorry drop of loss, every loss river from, rivers lose freshness, estuarine confluence. The Indian Ocean, home, bleaches, name, preserves only calcium me. Every sorry drop of loss, remorse, the tide, regret, current, guilt, wind, death is dissolution. I, the sea, oscillated away beneath density, atmospheres, always existing beyond, need me, beneath, want. Thank you. And another little quick one. We just came up with some random words, and this ended up being Vale Yorick. Mad, he played and seemed, reserved for the pauper's grave, badge and niggle cajoling, blue was half his face tattooed, morning never met him coming, castanets were his nerves, percussion, pantaloon in the marionette's shroud. Vale Yorick. That's mine. Thank you.
Thank you very much, webcaster Jamie. And somebody I'm looking really forward to hearing for the first time this year because I missed him so much. And he's in the elderly table there, at least that's what he calls it. Welcome, Alan Padgett. A bit more applause, please.
We're more than close mates, I tell you. Yeah, I didn't go the last few weeks. It's good to be back. This is called If It Wasn't So Humid. If it wasn't so tough, I'd bang it hard against the wall until its caution spilled and emptied itself silently with little panic and no remorse into the heaving, sweating sea. If it wasn't so soft, I'd shake it till it stiffened and shook its glistening drops onto a hallowed turf of pleading, thirsty lips. If it wasn't so dark, I'd like the way for your smile and your soothing electric touch to wrap my juicy salivating tongue around your borrowed code of conduct. If it wasn't so humid, I'd steal your way with words and compose a bitter lament to the loss I feel when you look my way and bark a farewell feud. If it wasn't so pleasurable, I'd ride a streetcar of desire between your glistening thighs and bend quietly with the wind as you so deftly torture the confessions of a lifetime from my bleeding paradise.
Wow, wow.
Yeah, I think I'm going to like listening to Alan this year. So, next open mic's going to end the first half, and that's going to be Danny Gunsberg. So I'm going to let him come up here and prepare, then I'll give him a better announcement after he's prepared. I'll go through.